refugees and migrants. Yonatan Jakubowicz from the Israel Immigration Policy Center welcomed the Jerusalem court ruling and said the time has come for Israel to consider deporting migrants from Eritrea.
Well, this verdict is exactly what we've been saying in the past few years. A number of reports have come out from European countries saying that Eritreans that go back from their own volition face no danger. And this has added to a federal court in Switzerland that said that even people who face conscription to the army can be returned to Eritrea legally. So the court is validating the facts that we know on the ground. Also, it's important to know that over 3,000 Eritreans have gone back to their homeland in the past since 2013, which is a pretty large number of people. We also know that there are many government supporters, and we've seen them that celebrate the Eritrean independence Day in Israel. So while we don't say that everyone can return, there are people that cannot go back. But as a whole, I think this verdict is very important because it does say that Israel should repeal its policy of group protection and start returning people back to Eritrea.
Surely it's very important who makes the final decision on whether or not it is safe. Surely it should be the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, and they claim it's still not safe for Eritreans to go back.
Well, the UNHCR guidelines were written in 2011. Already then we knew that they're factually not correct, not precise. I said over 3,000 people have already gone back contrary to the UN guidelines. So what we are saying is that our people who are government opposition members, minority, religious sects, but as a whole, just regular people from Eritrea, even if they're leaving military conscription, are not refugees. And I think the UN will join the wagon, but it'll take some time. As of now, it takes a long time. They take years, sometimes take years till they update their guidelines. And even in 2011, we believe that they weren't accurate, but today for sure they are not updated and they don't present the whole picture. So we can't say that everyone can return, but we do believe that anybody who is not an opposition member, and that the majority of the people can return to Eritrea, and that's what the Court of Appeals said.
And do you expect the Israeli government to respond to this Jerusalem Court of Appeals ruling and take the stand that it is safe and start deportations?
Well, I hope they do, but it's also important to stress that the Eritrean government doesn't cooperate with forced return to Eritrea. The main reason for this is that over a third of their GDP comes from money sent back by migrants from the whole world, but from Israel also, and we have one of the largest Eritrean diasporas in the Western world. And Eritrea just says that it's willing to, anybody who comes back from their own volition is welcome, but they're unwilling for forceful return because they don't want to lose that income. So the government will have to take a much stricter stance, and also some carrots and sticks method where we can offer the Eritrean government some kind of economic incentive, but also say that this cannot go on anymore. Israel has relationships with Eritrea, and on another tool that Israel can use is the deposit law, which is a law that we actually promoted, which says that the migrants' employers have to deposit 20% of their income into a government-run bank account, and they can only retrieve it once they leave.
But this is already in effect. This is already being used.
This has been started since 2017. It hasn't. The government isn't enforcing it enough. But we hope that if it enforces it fully, it will generate a double incentive, also for the migrant himself to go back and get a passport from the Eritrean embassy and go back home, as thousands have done so. And also, hopefully, the Eritrean government will understand that the money flow will stop, and hundreds of millions of shekels every year are absorbed in those bank accounts, and maybe they'll be willing to also change their policy on this point.
But, of course, even if there is a change on Eritrea, it doesn't affect the African migrants who've come from other countries.
Right, well, that's true. The Eritreans are roughly close to a little over 70% of the migrants who entered illegally from Egypt. Another little over 20% are Sudanese, and the rest are from other countries. So we're talking about the largest group of infiltrators, and so it's a very substantial verdict, and it's a very substantial move if Israel's policy changes on Eritrea, but we still have many Sunnis. It's also important to stress that over 6,000 Sunnis have gone back directly to Sudan, so also many of the Sunnis, also here, we can't say a blanket, everyone can go back, but many of the Sunnis can go back, and Israel just has to generate the economic incentives that they do so. But no matter what, we're talking about a large number of people that can go back home.
Yonatan Jakubowicz from the Israel Immigration Policy Center.